Fat Bald-Sicilian, FBS. I am very grateful for Fat Bald-Sicilian. I'll tell you why. FBS created more channels than Comcast. Okay, FBS endorsed a lot of channels. He created a lot of channels, and I bet he can't count how many channels that he has helped to get monetized, and I'm one of them.
You know, and then it's not like you have no violence on your record until you're 30, and then one night you just decide to go out and kill a cop. It doesn't happen like that.
Fabrizio was always a tough kid. He was a tough kid. He had a nice punch. If you hit him, he would knock you the fuck out.
I already had the position. I don't want to say boss, but that's what I was. I had the position. I was made directly with New York, and I didn't have to answer to nobody in my area.
I didn't watch the show, so I didn't really understand the magnitude or, like, you know, how big this moment was.
But you know what? When De Niro asked him to let the old lady stay,
yeah,
you know, and she has to stay with the dog. Well, God, I've never started, huh? You know that scene? And he was like, "Stop."
Anytime I got to shoot at John's restaurant on East 12th Street, which was like a big mob hangout where like Joe the Boss Masseria would like hold court, and I got to work with Ivo Nandi, who played Joe the Boss. Those were some of my favorite scenes.
And the moment you walk in, I could recognize who's at the bar, who's sitting at the table at VI. And this is the first time that I meet Sonny Franchitti.
As a matter of fact, outside the Bada Bing, Satin Dolls, we put a curtain in the parking lot. Everyone was wondering, why is that big curtain in the parking lot? We were rehearsing the hanging scene.
I'm living proof, guys. I'm living proof. I mean, no, I'm no millionaire or nothing, but listen, look at my life 4 years ago. I was in a fucking hotel. I was, you know, selling crack. I was snorting coke. I was drinking myself to fucking death. I was literally taking bags full of Ativan just because I wanted to die in my sleep. I was all alone, you know, and now I'm here. I have my family. I have a little bit of money in the bank. I got everything I want. And I got you guys in this channel. So if I can do it, any of you can do it. Yizzo, what's up, everybody? Early in the morning. Yes. I want to start doing this, like, from now on. A morning show, an afternoon show, no nighttime show, repeat. I like it. I like the idea of it. Get my work shit, I guess you could say, out of the way early in the day. So the last one went great. I think we had around 160 people, something like that. The last morning show I did. And I'm going to keep doing them now. It just works out better for me. I get up bright and early, full of energy and ready to go. I got some topics to discuss today. I want to discuss the Joey Merlino, John Gotti thing, John Gotti Jr. I want to play you a clip that I took from Dominic Sicali's show from about 5 days ago. Dominic, I know you don't watch my show, but I hope you're okay with me using this clip. It's about 50 seconds long. You know, you might copyright strike me. I don't know, but I'm using it because what Dominic said, what he said actually made sense. And coming from an actual ex-mob guy, content creator, you know, that's saying a lot because usually they don't say much that makes sense. Dominic is one of the more reasonable ones. I've always said that. And logic. And I took a little clip from his show, and I think he said something very important in that clip. So I'll be playing that later. Of course, it relates to the John Gotti Jr., Joey Merlino thing, and some other maybe random topics as we go. I was watching this Rex Heuermann thing. Now, I haven't paid attention to the Long Island serial killer case at all since the guy got caught. I used to watch everything caught. I haven't really researched him, you know, or learned much about him until last night. That was interesting. That guy is a fucking creep, and he's a monster. Could you imagine that fucking animal, 6'7", He's 6'7" tall. I mean, holy shit. That's insane. Have a guy like that attacking these fucking young girls and shit. Very sick story. And if you ever heard that guy talk or anything, oh my God. Creepy beyond belief. Like, he has like this weird speech impediment and shit. Everything about him screams monster. Seriously. All right. Sally, Miss Can't Be Wrong, Jesse Roth, Yizzo, Dave, Midwest Mafia Productions, Impeach. Hey now, Wakey Wakey, Hands Off Snakey. Oh, never heard that one before. What else we got? Mob Talk Radio with Jeff Canarsie. There you go. Hizzo, Foshizzo, Yizzo. Good to see you, bro. Good morning. Edward Everett. T-Muscle Worldwide, the Nuke Zone. What's good, bro? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Oh, and there's Chicago Muscle. Now I'm slightly confused. Tom Sheehy. Hey, buddy. What's up, man? Daylight in the FBS bunker. I have the window open over here, and the sun is shining. It makes me so happy, guys. It does. I don't ask for much in life. Actually, I kind of do. But beautiful weather. I just want to be outside. That's another reason I want to do these shows early now, because I don't want to spend my whole fucking day sitting around the house waiting to do a show. You know, I want to get it out of the way and get my ass outside and enjoy life. You know? That's how I like living. A lot of mob tubers spend most of their time indoors. That's depressing. I don't know how they do it, but hey, to each his own, I guess. Joe Bag of Donuts, good morning. Miss Can't Be Wrong says, FBS, I like the morning and afternoon shows, no nights too. Yeah, fuck night shows. You know, because it fucks me up anyway. I want to go to bed as early as possible now. Seriously, I'm enjoying the shit out of this. I get so much done in the daytime. It's incredible. James Healy, what's up? Who else we got? Michael Hensley, we love you too. You got beef with tall, crazy people? No, not at all. But that fucking creep, oh my God. Have you guys seen him and stuff? Like, the reason, I mean, first of all, he's a creepy guy in general. Like, they were even talking about his neighbors. Like, his neighbors were telling reporters and shit that, you know, the fact they found out he's a serial killer kind of explains all the creepiness. Was one of the neighbors' words, meaning they've seen so much. Kind of makes sense now. Fucking guy's a serial killer. But, you know, I just think about it, you know, with the victims, you know, like most of these, well, they're all women. Okay. I'm sure many of them were small, like most women are, maybe 5'2" to 5'7", something like that. And this guy's fucking 6'7", towering over them and, you know, doing whatever he did to them. It's fucking insane. Because we live in a godless universe. Joe Root, good morning. He is a monster, Sally, for sure. Lisa Farrow, good morning to you. Crime and entertainment in the house. Did you hear what I said yesterday, bro? I watched your interview with Gene Borello. Very good interview. You're a great interviewer. And you got a fucking voice for radio, my friend. It's the best radio voice I've heard since Jeff Canarsie. Oh, okay, gotcha. Mike, when I was younger and more gay, good morning to all the beautiful men in here. Pure beauty. Good morning to you. D. Gainey, Medium Bald Sicilian. What up, bro? What's up, D. Gainey? Shit. Let me see. No problem. Ryan Garcia popped for two different. They're gonna take his W from the Haney fight. He'll probably get a lengthy ban. What? Are you serious? Well, you know what? I don't even care. I won the money on the fight. And Ryan Garcia, the more I watch, the more I realize what a fucking asshole he is in you know, his personal life. He's just a jerk off of epic proportions. So I don't really like him as a person. But I did win, you know, my money, and that's all that really matters to me. So fuck him. Who cares? I know the Canelo fight is coming up on Saturday. Canelo Alvarez, and what's that guy's name? And yeah, I don't think I'm going to bet on that. It doesn't even, you know, Canelo's like a -4 plus. It just doesn't even make sense for. Plus, you know, so you can't make any money on that fight. Impossible, unless you fucking have a fortune to bet on it. What, last night's? No, wait, when was your last show? Because I checked for you last night, and I can never find your shows, Chicago, so I always ask Jesse Roth, and she'll send me the link, because I can't find one of your shows to save my life ever. And she's, oh, night before, because I think I did see it. Chicago GameStop muscle, yo. He does have a lot of them fucking games, don't he? Let me see what he says. Then we'll get on with the John Gotti, Joey Merlino talk. John Gotti Jr., sorry. Big difference. Huge difference. This is me just waiting. Matter. I'll get to it. I'll see it when you type it, Chicago Muscle. It's so beautiful out. All right, so listen. First of all, before I play the Dominic clip, because let me tell you, in this clip, he says exactly. Hold on. Kidding me? Wait, what? No, not that. Yeah, I know, D. Gainey. I heard the stream is lagging. Are you serious? Is the feed freezing for anyone else, or is it just me? Fuck me. But my internet signal looks good. Hold on, let me try something. God damn it, motherfucker. And I got a good show in me today. I don't know if I want to do that. No, not that. Let me see. Available. YouTube. Connect. It only blipped for a minute. Okay. Tell me if it's any better. It's not freezing now? Seems fine now. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you, Jesse. All right. When I play this Dominic clip, you're going to know exactly why I'm playing it the minute you hear it. He says exactly what I've been saying for a long time now about these mob guys, these killers. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing about Dominic that's different from a lot of other people. Dominic, and I know I've gotten on his ass about certain things. You know, when he was going back and forth with Joey, I spotted some hypocrisy there and shit. But Dominic, more than anyone else, will tell you what a shitty life that was, and he'll tell you all the downsides and stuff like that. Does he glamorize it a little bit? Probably. They all do to some extent, but I think more so than that, he tries to explain to people why it's a terrible life. You know, he makes this comment about killers and stuff that I want to play for you guys. But first, I will talk about John Gotti Jr. and Joey Merlino, the rat thing, because I was off for a while and I didn't really get around to that. On Dominic's show that I was listening to earlier, this is not the clip I'm going to play, but he said, so Joey Merlino came out and said that John Gotti Jr. is a rat. It's amazing that it took, you know, for Joey Merlino to say it, for people to believe it. And he's right. He's right. Like Joey Merlino is who he is, of course. But Joey Merlino is not the guy that defines what a rat is or isn't. I mean, Joey Merlino thinks that Sonny Franzese is a rat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, it shouldn't have taken Joey. You know what I mean? We all kind of know the answer. If you sit down with the government and you give names and say, I don't give a fuck. I told you, I'll use an example. Like, some guy exaggerated a story I told him and said that I'm a rat. He told it to another guy. That guy said it on this show, and everybody just believes it now. Okay. Angel used to call me a rat just because I had a sealed case. Then she found out nothing in that case indicated that I was a rat. Anything I do, I called the cops because I got jumped. I'm a rat. I'm a rat. I'm a rat for everything, no matter what. Imagine if it were to come out tomorrow that one day in my past, I sat down with the drug task force and gave a list of names and crimes, those people committed. Would there be any debate whether or not I'm a rat? Or if any of you guys did it, anyone else but John Gotti Jr., would there be any debate? The fact that there was ever a debate about this is ridiculous. And personally, I think kind of highly of John Gotti Jr. I think he made the right. Well, it was totally the wrong choice. Totally the wrong choice because, he had to go to trial anyway, but now he's going to be labeled as a rat for the rest of his life. But I think he was doing it to, obviously, anybody cooperates. They cooperate so they can get out of doing time and being taken away from their family. John Gotti Jr., I think, is a great family man. So if it would have worked, it would have been the right fucking choice, in my opinion, because I don't care what anybody says. Your family at home should always come before your family in the streets, no matter what. And John Gotti Jr. attempted that. It was not a legal strategy. It was not, they were trying to hoodwink the government. No, it was fucking, it's exactly what it appeared to be. He sat down with them. He gave them names. People had to take guilty pleas in some cases. So they did go to jail. Once they found out he was cooperating, they got scared. They pled guilty to shit. And it affected a lot of people. The 302s and stuff, the things he mentioned in those 302s. Exactly. Casey Robinson. Yes. I heard Gene say that on Crime and Entertainment's interview, and I've said it many times before. He said if it wasn't for us cooperators, then there would be no mob history to talk about. There would be no nothing. You wouldn't know anything about that life, And guess what? Then these guys would be no fucking big deal because we wouldn't even know who they were. The guys who didn't cooperate. Okay. We found out all this stuff because of people telling. We did. But anyway, it's very cut and dry. John Gotti Jr. sat down with the feds and it did a 302 and, told on people, including his father. But his father was passed away. So somehow that's okay. That's another thing they justify. But what would his father say if he was here? You know what I mean? You told him about a fucking murder I committed. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Quack Quack killed a guy for you and you told the feds. We already know how John Gotti Sr. would react to what John Gotti Jr. did. Okay. And like I said, I'm not even saying this to bash the guy, but reality is reality. There can't be any bias just because you like the guy or you love the guy, you're related to the guy or whatever. You can't say that if somebody else did this, it would be ratting. But since it was this guy that did it, it's all good. Because let's be honest, the only real pushback when it comes to the question of whether or not John Gotti Jr. is a rat for what he did comes from his family, Nobody else is disputing it. I've never heard anybody really say, except for the We Push Back people, who I think they've changed their mind completely now that Joey told them to. Fucking dick riders. They were the only ones. Oh, MRE, he didn't put anybody in jail. Yeah, but we know why MRE, would say something like that, because MRE is a rat himself. And maybe that's how it turned out in MRE's case. Nobody went to jail, therefore he isn't a rat. Yeah, right. It's not how it works. If you tell on somebody, you're a rat. It doesn't matter. It's not like you're a prosecutor who has a conviction rate. You know what I mean? The very act of telling on somebody is done with the intention of putting them in jail so you don't have to go. You know what I mean? Like John Veazey said, why go to the pen when you could send a friend? Probably the best line ever. So, yeah. Chicago Cuban muscle. That's what they do constantly. Not for anyone else, just for the people they select. Certain rules don't apply to them. So I understand what Dominic said, because it's true. Why did it take Joey Merlino saying this for people to believe it? I don't know, but I know that Kriya was in his audience for his Patreon, and he was loving it. And I think the We Push Back people, from what I heard, they're all John Jr. is a rat too now, right? Is that correct? Is that how they see it finally? Very strange situation. Another thing that would only take place on MobTube. Somebody did something years and years and years ago that's the very definition of a certain word, but because of who he is and because his family is on here, not him. No, ignore him. Let's talk about Jimmy and all the Gene and all these other guys, John Alay. Let's not talk about John. So anyway, now Angel takes these things as a personal attack on her family. No, it's not. It's not like my family or anyone else's family. This is a family filled with famous gangsters. So people can talk about them without it being a personal attack on the, you know what I mean? I understand it's her family and she sees it that way, but it's just like, I always use the example. If your father's a famous serial killer, okay, and somebody's talking about, which he kind of is, but you know what I'm saying? And people are doing stories about him and giving their opinions on him on a certain YouTube community or whatever. That doesn't mean that they're attacking him to get to you or get at you or to bother you, or that they're attacking him just because they don't like his character or whatever. No. It's people have a right to comment on these things. This is MobTube. Angel always goes after Jeff Nadeau, but I never heard Jeff Nadeau lie about the Gottis. Not at all. Anything he said is absolute fact. He talked about her nephew, selling the Oxy and shit. She went fucking ballistic. That's a 1,000,000,000% fact. How could you get mad about that? Meanwhile, they'll talk shit about people, they'll just give their opinions and accuse people of shit and every fucking thing else with no solid proof whatsoever. It's not an attack. You got a family full of famous gangsters, and we're in a community that literally revolves around the conversation about famous gangsters. So you can't leave the Gottis out. You can't. And the funny thing is, I don't even think John Jr. would be that much a part of the conversation if it wasn't for Angel always fighting about this stuff. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of people to talk about. I don't even think John Jr.'s name would come up. But listen, I don't think the dude's a bad guy. I think he's a great family man. I think his life now is pretty admirable, but like John Gotti Sr., in his own words in prison, said, if I paint a picture, I know I painted that picture. In other words, he can't deny who he is or what he's done. So why are we doing it for his son? He painted a picture. So that's that. You guys already know how I feel about Joey. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you how Dominic feels, and it's pretty much the same way I do. Dominic, do me a favor, bro. Don't copyright strike me. I'll be devastated.
But to go out there and keep on saying stuff with between John Gotti Jr., Joey Merlino, it's just a joke. It's a joke. To me, Joey Merlino seems like a nice guy, very personable, but he's a joke. In the mafia life, he's a joke. I just, and trust me, he's definitely a killer. Definitely put in his work from what I heard. Never did a piece of work with him, but definitely about his business. But at the end of the day, people are going to idolize that. People are going to say what a great guy he is. He kills people, just like me. I'm not a great guy. I turned my life around. But in the past, I wasn't great. I would kill you in a heartbeat.
See? It's what I always say about these guys. Yeah, he just said about Joey. Yeah, Joey's a killer, but what, that makes him great? No. You know what I mean? No, that's a negative. That's not a positive. When somebody's a killer, you're not supposed to look up to them, especially not for being a killer. You know what I mean? We are in this stupid land of YouTube here, MobTube, where people fucking worship killers. So what Dominic's saying is very important because it's coming from a killer. Dominic himself was a stone cold killer. He was. There's nobody can fucking deny that about him. Okay? So to hear him say it about other killers, it holds a little bit more weight than if I say it about them. You know what I mean? I never killed nobody. I got 0 bodies. Okay? So he's talking sense there. It's like I've been saying, what are people worshiping this guy for? Joey or any of them? Why? Would you want your son, your young son, to aspire to be one of these guys? I don't think so. But people are still caught up in this Hollywood, vision of what, or this Hollywood, picture of what that life is like. This twisted fantasy that it's all, glamour and fame and fortune and stuff and power. Yeah, I don't think so. I think most mob guys walk around without 2 fucking cents to rub together. And the ones that have a lot of money gamble it all away so they don't have it for long. And it doesn't matter what you have because eventually the government will take it from you. You'll be locked up for life or you'll die in the street. And most likely none of that money will even wind up in your family's fucking hands because it's buried somewhere. So it's not glamorous. Not at all. By the way, guys, speaking of money, we're 28 minutes in, 121 people. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. If you can donate, I'd appreciate it very, very much. That's what I do these shows for. And I always have high hopes of making some money when I do them. So I'd appreciate it. This is funny, Ducks. What we must remember what Vinny Asaro said, I'll suck a dick if he's not a rat. I heard Gene say that on the Crime and Entertainment interview. It's funny shit. Fucking Vinny Asaro. Why doesn't we push back, try to help Joe Exotic from try to help free Joe Exotic from Tiger King? He got railroaded. There you go, Casey. He did get railroaded. Yeah, no, they don't care. Listen, do you think they really care about anyone else who got ratted on or anything? No. The people who hate rats, well, let's get this straight. The majority of people who claim to hate rats, at least here on MobTube, are fucking geeks, nerds who've never even fucking been in the street, complete and total squares, never committed a crime in their life, never been in the back of a cop car, never been in handcuffs, certainly never been in jail or any type of prison, state, federal, whatever. They don't, it's just this shit where look at some of the people that we find when we find out who they are, some of these MRE followers and stuff. Look at MRE himself. Look at those people. These are all basement dwelling fucking fruitcakes. They're all fucking geeks. They are, all of them. You know what I'm saying? And they worship these guys because they think it's the cool thing to do. And the cool thing to do is always to hate rats, right? It's always cool to hate rats. So that's why they do it. The other types of people who hate rats are the people who are criminals, and they hate rats because they don't want to be told on. And anytime they got busted, it probably was because they got told on or set up in some way or something like that. You know, the obvious answer would be don't be a criminal, you know, and nobody could rat on you. But this is not the land of obvious answers, you know. So, that's about it. You know, the average guy going to work every day, taking care of his family, you know, he doesn't care about rats because he's not doing any fucking thing wrong. You know, there's two types of people who hate rats: the criminals and the dick riders. That's it. Nobody else gives a fuck. Matter of fact, I think most of society would be very happy with the guys who cooperate and help put killers away. You know, they'd be very impressed by them. It's a screwy world, it is. I can't even believe, like if it wasn't for this community, I would probably still look up to some of these guys. You know what I mean? And see them as some sort of I don't know, legends, like that twisted thing in certain people's brains that make you think, even though you know they're the bad guy, they're actually the good guy. You know, like legendary figures who are to be admired. You know, stuff like that. It's meeting some of the relatives of gangsters and some of the ex-gangsters themselves, and hearing stories from some of the guys directly, and all this different shit. And most of all, hearing people defend them as if they're saints. That is what got me to the point where I had to face reality just so I could, you know, do the obvious or say the obvious and prove these guys wrong. The obvious is that they're criminals. They're horrible fucking people. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I won't say who, but I said, you know, the funny thing is, when I go on my rants about how bad the mafia is and how bad all the mafia guys are, sometimes I go so far, I don't even know if I really feel that strongly. But this is the thing with me, and this is why you've even heard me defend my enemies sometimes. If a group of people, or even one person sometimes, you know, are or is wrong about something, okay, and I know they're wrong, I have to correct them. I have to call them out, especially if they're making insane claims like, you know, mafia guys are heroes in the Italian communities and shit like that. You put me in a position where I sometimes I have to say things that I don't even necessarily want to say, but I have to do it because you're so insane. What you're saying is so nuts and ridiculous and nonsensical that I have to come in and say, wait a fucking minute. Okay, it's cool when, you know, we read the books about these guys. We kind of study that mob culture, and there's certain mobsters that we admire and stuff like that, and it ends there. That's how I was. But once I started seeing that these guys are worshipped and looked at as good people, not only good people, heroes, protectors of their community. Now, if you say the sky is red, I'm going to have to argue that it's blue because it is. That's just the way I am. I have no choice. If I'm in an argument with somebody and the argument ends and 3 days later I think of something I should have said to disprove what they were saying, I will get a hold of them. Okay? just to make that fucking point. That's the way I am. That's why I'm good at debating and arguing and all that shit, because I think things over a million times, sometimes in real time while they're happening. Okay? So when you say crazy shit, I have to correct you. And it's one thing to, you know, the unspoken thing about how maybe some of us who grew up in Italian neighborhoods and fucking, you know, in Italian culture, maybe we had family members who were connected or in the life somehow. You know, we just kind of sort of in a way look up to these guys, but we don't really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just an unspoken thing. It's like, yeah, you know, like when we were kids and shit, and we all were basically told to believe that that these are good guys in one way or another, that they actually do protect the neighborhood. Well, if you keep harping on about how they protect their neighborhoods, I have to look at it from another perspective and say, well, how can you say that? Because when you say they protect their neighborhoods, the thing I always heard is they keep drugs out of the neighborhood. My dad used to tell me that. We lived in Glendale. Okay. But in Forest Park, there was always drug dealers. Always, always, always. And I told you, they used to bust them right in front of my house sometimes. Okay. On 81st Street. And my dad would tell me about how these guys keep drugs out of the neighborhood, but there's drug dealers every fucking where. So it's like, how do they? And then as I grew up, I started to realize, no, they don't keep drugs out of the neighborhood. They keep their competition out of the neighborhood. They flood the neighborhood with their drugs, and they don't allow anybody else to come in and compete. You know what I mean? Puerto Ricans come in from a neighborhood, dead. Black guys come in from another neighborhood and try to hustle, dead. But they're not keeping shit out of their neighborhoods. They're actually the ones putting it there. And as far as being protectors and shit, no, they're not doing anything for anybody unless there's some money involved. They don't just protect you. They make you pay protection money. And the only people they're protecting you from is themselves. Because if you don't pay that money, they'll fuck your store up. They'll light it on fucking fire. They'll throw bricks through the windows, whatever. So you're paying for protection from them. In other words, give us, I don't know, say back in the 80s, $1,500 a week, or you're going to have problems here. And they'll make it seem like as if it's going to be other crews and families that'll give you those problems. In reality, once you turn them down and refuse to pay that money, it's them that'll hurt you and destroy your business. You know what I mean? It's them. It's them themselves. So it's all bullshit, you know? And I never been in a situation in life where people are actually worshiping these guys and telling me to my fucking face how great they are, what great people they are, how nice they are, how they help people in their communities. Even at my peak, like in the streets, hustling, committing all types of crimes, looking up to these dudes as the creme de la creme of the criminal world. Okay, if you would have made this argument with me then, I would have said, well, hold on. You know, John Gotti might be a cool motherfucker, but let's not forget. You know what I mean? Like, or this one or that one, whoever they might name. Hold on. Let's be honest about what the mafia does here. But in this community, there's no honesty about it. There's no honesty. It's just the same horse shit that we've been hearing forever as Italian people, as people from New York, certain neighborhoods, stuff like that. A lot of these people have grown up in age, but not in mentality. A lot of these people that worship these mobsters are regular people with kids. You know, it could be a guy with a wife, kids, a house picket fence, white picket fence, all that good shit. And he doesn't even realize that who he's looking up to is a person he would never want his son to be like. Never in a million years. Because, you know, all he knows of that life is Hollywood shit. I don't know, man. But you know my thoughts on all this. I was ratted on over a gun charge and could care less who was a rat. Yeah, but listen. Me too. You know, I was set up in 2000. I was set up in 2016. There was another time a girl tried to get me selling her a ball, but luckily I got away. The cops couldn't follow me. And that kind of, they told me that later on when they busted me. They had tried earlier with the same chick. But if they can't keep an eye on you the whole way, you know, they don't. It's a long story, but basically, they weren't able to pull that one off. But that's 3 times, you know? And I told you, like that bitch and the dude that set me up in 2000, of course, if they both got, I don't know. Let me think. Killed in a horrible car crash, or got trapped inside a burning building and burned alive, or just got shot up in a random drive-by, or whatever the fuck it may be, which would be very odd for them to be in the same place at the same time. But this is all hypothetical horse shit I'm making up. If they were to die a horrible death, each one of them, I would feel nothing. Okay, it wouldn't bother me one fucking bit. But I am much more mad at myself than I am them. They couldn't have set me up if I wasn't doing knucklehead shit. Do I like them? No. Do I hate them? Yeah, probably. I think you could say I hate them. But in the long run, it was my fault. It was my fault. So I'm the one, I kick my own ass every day. I'm not going to do anything to those people. I don't go after them. I don't fuck with them. I never did. Even when I really wanted to. And I was actually kind of sort of willing to, but I knew the consequences, so I didn't. Never in my life am I gonna. If I saw one of them on the street, I would just walk right the fuck past them. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything to throw my freedom away, but if something happened to them, I wouldn't care. Of course, you're gonna have hatred towards people who set you up, but it doesn't mean you sit around stewing about them all day. And wishing death on them and going to sleep thinking about them and waking up thinking about them, and you know what I mean, maybe trying to actually have things done to them, or just spending the rest of your life bitching and moaning about these people that set you up when it's your own goddamn fucking fault. You were a criminal to begin with. Listen, you're not supposed to break the fucking law. So as soon as you break the law, you're wrong. Period. You're wrong. So if somebody set you up, they didn't set you up because you were doing charity work. They set you up because you were breaking the fucking law. And that's what made them capable of setting you up. That's what made you set upable. Okay? I love to invent my own new words. So, in the words of Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber, stop breaking the law, asshole. I'm telling you, I would love to see the day when one of these guys like Joey says, yeah, I hate rats. Sure, fuck them. I hate every one of them. I think it's wrong to rat. But I shouldn't have been in the mafia. You know what I mean? These guys, they bitch and moan and bitch and moan and bitch and moan and bitch and moan. It's like, you thought what? You thought you could just rape and pillage? You thought you could just fucking tear communities apart with drugs and fucking, you're preying on people's weaknesses, their drug addictions, their fucking gambling addictions, people who are in trouble and are desperate for money. You figure you could squeeze every dime out of them till the day they fucking die, and VIGs and every fucking thing else. You thought you could extort, blackmail, hijack, just plain rob, murder. And then how dare somebody tell on you for it? You realize how fucked up these people are? You thought you could commit every serious crime under the fucking sun. Rob banks, all types of crazy shit. Have crews of fucking people just running the streets, committing every type of crime under the sun so they could kick some money up to you every week. And then somebody has the nerve to tell on you for it. Guys, I told you, when I was a teenager and I started selling drugs, I knew at that very moment I was going to jail someday. I just accepted it because that's what I chose to do. Okay? If you're going to enter a criminal lifestyle, be prepared to accept the fact that you are going to jail. Eventually, going to jail, you're going to prison, you're going some fucking where. Okay? So when that happens, don't be all shocked and mad at the people who you think put you there. Because in reality, it was you that put you there. You're in jail because of your actions. As for the actions of the rat, he just sped up the process a little bit. Like me, every time I got set up, if I didn't get set up by by the dude in 2000. Maybe a week later, I'd have been set up by somebody else, or a month later, or 5 years later. Eventually, I was going to get caught from my actions. The bitch that tried to set me up the first time, and then, they both took place in 2016, weeks apart. She got me on the one sale. The one that they attempted, like I just explained, it didn't work out for them. She just sped along the process, sped up the process. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't her, who knows? It might have been worse. I think about that too. This bitch got me. Now, if she would have got me with that ball, that would have been fucked up. I got lucky there. But she got me selling her 1.43 grams of cocaine. Now, let's just say that she didn't set me up. And I didn't get bagged with that. But the next day, I was driving home from my connect's house with 2 ounces in the car. Okay, and I got pulled over and searched or something like that happened. And they caught me with that. Sometimes it might be, I would never use the words divine intervention, but you know what I mean. We'll call it luck. You never even know. You never know. But still, hate the rat. That's fine. I don't blame you for hating the rat. But you got to take responsibility for what you did. Take responsibility for what you did. And all these mob guys that sit around bitching and fucking moaning. I mean, I thought you're supposed to be tough. You take your time like a man, right? But when you go and do your time and then you spend the rest of your fucking years bitching and moaning about the fact that you had to do time because of this guy, or this guy, doesn't that make you weak? Isn't that weakness? Doesn't that make you sound a little bit like a bitch? That should be on the rule on the street. Take your time like a man and shut the fuck up about it. But, oh my God, this is all we'll hear. Every fucking day, rat of the day, rat of the week, rat of the month. Let's talk about rats. I'm not here to talk about the mob. I'm here to talk about rats, Vlad. Holy shit. Now, Dominic said something else on his show that, give me a second. What did he say? Oh, he said Joey's a rat. Joey's not a rat. Joey Merlino is not a rat. Now, do I know everything he's done in his life? No, but I mean, he's saying that Joey's a rat for what he's doing on YouTube. That I never agreed with. He hasn't told on anybody. He hasn't solved any crimes for the FBI. He hasn't fucking spilled information he wasn't supposed to be talking about on YouTube. None of that shit. But what he's doing goes against what he stands for. I'm telling you, the day he was completely discredited to me, Joey Merlino, is the day he went on Vlad. That's it. Think about this. He says Sonny Franzese is a rat because in the last years of his life, he associated with his son, who is a rat. Okay, think about that. Now, does that make you a rat, Joey, for associating with a guy or becoming friendly with a guy and giving an interview to a guy who is friends with rats, who accepts rats, who uses them for views and clicks and money and everything else? Wouldn't it be the same thing? Would that make you a rat? If Sonny Franzese is a rat for associating with his own son, are you a rat for associating with Vlad? Of course not. It's an absurd thought, but that's your rule, not mine. You said Sonny Franzese is a rat because he associated with his son. So, going by those rules, anybody who associates with any fucking buddy, you know what I mean, who accepts rats, you see what I'm saying? I know it's a little bit different because, in this case, in Sonny's case, Michael was the rat. I know Vlad's not a rat. I know. But the point is, though, Vlad is okay with rats. Just like Sonny was okay with his son who was a rat. So, I don't know. He wouldn't associate with Sonny if he was still alive, which would make him, I think, 106 now or something. But you see what I mean? According to him. So why would you associate with a guy who has interviewed every rat in the history of Cosa Nostra? Not exactly, but money, Patreon, all that shit. So you got to be careful when you make rules. You got to be sure to follow them yourself. You got to be sure to follow them. Oh yeah, absolutely. Chicago Cuban muscle. My mind. That's what changed, Golden Girls. I changed my mind. And quite honestly, I'll be honest 100%. Everybody here knows when I'm friends with somebody, I will go above and beyond to stick up for them and their family. And when I was saying that, I was friends with Angel. But Golden Girls, in case you didn't know, people are allowed to change their mind about things. They are, absolutely. Plus, I didn't exactly know all the details. I didn't look at the 302s and all that horse shit back then. That's when I first came on here. So nice try, but not going to work. A man that accepted his faults is a good man, cool dude. Yeah, I agree. Once a criminal is understandable, but a career criminal is understandable, but a career criminal is a schmuck. I got you. Like if you commit a crime once, it's okay, I guess. Yeah, ducks. I agree. Thank you, baby. Hey, good morning. Soretti, what up? What up? Anybody like to donate? I'd appreciate it very much. Not a single donation yet. Don't tell me it's going to be worse than April. Please. Don't tell me that. Yeah, Chicago. Crime and Entertainment. I know a lot of people don't care for Gene, but we have done 2 shows and they have both done great. The first one is at almost 73K, which for me is great numbers. A lot of people don't like him because they're jealous of him. Of course, there's other reasons people don't like him. You know, people could see him as arrogant and all that stuff. But what they don't realize is the haters, what they don't realize is that they make people arrogant just by, like with me. It's the haters that have made me so important. You know what I mean? Like the more they talk about me, the more important I get, the more it seems like the entire community revolves around me. And yeah, that makes you a little bit arrogant. Even if you're just acting arrogant, it's because you have to, because you're constantly being told you ain't shit and everything else. So Gene's got a lot of haters because a lot of people are jealous of him. Gene is going to wind up being famous, seriously famous. I guarantee it. There's no question about it. And that bothers the fuck out of people. Plus, Gene doesn't give a fuck. He'll tell you straight up. He don't give a fuck. So what? He's not somebody who tries to make excuses for it or anything else. So, they don't like that. They feel like once you did that, you're nothing now and you owe all these people something, He doesn't owe anybody anything. Who's Emma, Ellen Blue? Crime and Entertainment. What opened my eyes to the other side of it was when I had on Joey C. Who is this Golden Girls person? Because I'm thinking now, that's because the Angel and them are the Golden Girls, because that's the shit Angel. Angel doesn't understand the concept of changing your mind either. You know what I mean? Like I could say Golden Girls, guess what I could say? Because this is coming from Angel's camp. I could say, I have video clips of Angel saying that SoFlo is the biggest piece of shit on the face of the earth. And then I have video clips of her saying that he's a good guy, Flo. Flo's not a bad guy. He apologized. He's a good guy. And now I got videos of her again saying that SoFlo is a piece of shit. So, Golden Girls, would you ask her a question like that? Just out of curiosity. Or is it just me? I'm the only person I can't change my mind. You name any fucking thing that's ever happened on MobTube by any content creator, I could show you a clip of them saying the opposite at some point. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. So when Angel plays those clips, because she used to do that all the time. Oh, I got him talking good about my brother. Yeah, I was doing that for you. And I actually do speak well of John Jr. I think John Jr. is a good man, a family man. You know, there's no doubt he loves his wife and kids more than anything in this world. And to me, that's the measure of a man. Forget what you did in the street. What are you doing at home? You know what I'm saying? So I never even really spoke badly of John that way. But I got to point out the obvious that what he did was ratting. And yes, to be perfectly honest, even when I was saying that, I was doing it for Angel. Trust me. People have seen me. I go above and beyond. And it's been a detriment to me. It has not worked out well for me. I am a guy who for almost 3 years has done everything in his power to defend and protect every fucking friend he's ever had on here, only to be stabbed in the back by every single one of them at one point or another. Okay, so, I've learned my lesson now. You won't see me doing it anymore. But except for a couple of people. So yeah, it's as simple as that. You got to know by now, Parasite Slayer's MRE was found using 2 devices trying to disguise. So MRE was found using 2 devices trying to disguise identity. I was always told Parasite Slayer was MRE. I just assume it, but I don't know. I don't see why he'd need to be. Why he'd need the 2, you know what I mean? The 2 identities on MobTube here. I don't know. Some sold drugs even though they wasn't supposed to. Of course. Yeah, that's what they do, baby. They definitely protect their neighborhood from competition. Don't worry, you ain't gonna have none of those black or Puerto Rican drug dealers in this neighborhood. Although, if you want some heroin, you can go to Joey right down the street. He's got, he's got my little package I gave him. You know what I mean? Oh shit! Thank you, Bob Cosmic. Guys, no donations today. Ain't that a bitch, man? Look at this shit. Holy fuck. 57 minutes in, not a dime. I don't know what to say. Forcing the baker to charge more for bread. Absolutely, Tom Shee, of course. Who was it once? I think it was an FBI agent who talked about how the mafia, for a couple of decades, had raised the price on pretty much every item you could imagine, whether it was a piece of clothing, a garment of some sort, or a fucking chicken, okay, or concrete to build a building, or whatever it may have been. They raised the price of pretty much every fucking item in New York City for every goddamn citizen who needs anything. You know what I mean? Because of all their bullshit, their extortion and every fucking thing else, union control, everything. So, yeah, these are not good people, man. You see that Dorothy McGuire that was in here yesterday? I like her. See what she was saying? She's been in Howard Beach, I think, her whole life. You see how she feels about this shit? Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much. Very much. Lots of mob dick riding, not FBS stuff. Fuck no. Oh, look at that. Hollywood Wade, $4.99 for coffee. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate you, man. Def don't want mob guys dating your daughters. LOL. No. Certainly don't. Oh, wait a minute. You're taking my daughter to a restaurant where somebody might walk in and shoot you in the head while you're sitting right next to her? No, thanks. Dave, $5 for why has everyone stopped tipping? I don't get it. I don't either, Dave, but thank you very much, bro, for always supporting me. I don't know, guys. I am puzzled. I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, what changed from the last day of March to the first day of April? What did I do? I don't know what I know I pissed Trump supporters off. I pissed a lot of people off, but I've been doing that forever. It never changed the thing. I don't know what's going on. I don't. Now there'll be 50 comments telling me it's because I'm boring, because I talk about Tony Peets every day. They'll just say that. A whole bunch of claims will be made. No, it's just, I don't know. It's got to be some sort of freak occurrence, because I can't see how everybody would just get pissed off at me and stop donating. I didn't do anything that bad. There's no way. My thing is, I can't stand the guys that wear wires on their friends and such shit like that. Yeah, well, I hear you. I know. I've talked to, a lot of cooperators who have even said that, because they never wore wires and shit like that. They just testified or whatever. Yeah, it is extra slimy. It definitely is. Oh, look at this shit, man. Baba Booey. Hey now. Hey now, send $10 for you light up my life. Thank you so much, bro. And you light up mine. Steve Blair, $25 for I got you, bro. Hope mom's doing good. Damn, man. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, hey now. Thank you, all you guys. That's awesome. People see, man, people still support. And she's doing good, Steve Blair. But I won't get into it. I got to be careful what I say on here because of these fucking animals. But I don't know. She's all right. I just want to say that. This can't be wrong. I knew a guy years ago back home. Every time he saw a local cop, he pulled him aside to tell. Even the local cops hated that guy. Oh, yeah. Nobody really respects a rat, no matter what. Even the cops don't. You know what I mean? But they need them. They need them. That's because it is. It's always seen as slimy. Anytime somebody tells on somebody. That's why all this Karen shit is all over the internet. These bitches who throw fits and start fucking calling the police on people and shit. I know. Even, as kids, you're taught not to tattletale and all that shit, But it's a little bit different. Telling on your neighbor because his grass is too long, or calling the cops because somebody's being too loud in public or some crazy shit. It's a little bit different than being a guy who was involved in a life where now he's facing, 50 years or 2 life sentences or the death penalty. And in order to help himself, puts other killers away. Killers belong in jail. Can we agree on that? Like everybody, there's nobody in the world who doesn't want killers to be in jail. Okay? When these people say, the stupidest thing I ever heard is, I don't want to see nobody in jail. Really? Not child molesters, rapists, nothing. You don't want to see them in jail. All right. I do. Definitely. I don't want them walking the fucking streets. So it's not like they're putting guys away for nonsense. These people chose to commit the worst types of crimes in order to, gain power and wealth and everything else. That comes with a consequence. And usually that consequence will be delivered with the help of a rat. You know that going in. So stop fucking whining, asshole. I mean, stop whining. It's just the way it is. The way it is. Freeway Ricky Ross said it the best. It's his fault for getting involved in the drug game. And then it's his fault for getting involved again. Same thing with me. I got busted the first time. I had to go do a little time in the county, whatever. Right as my daughter was born, all that horse shit. I get out. I stay on the straight and narrow for a little while, but I go right back to it. And then I do it for how many fucking years? Another 10, 12 years before I get knocked again. So whose fault was it? It's my fault. Period. Stop breaking the law, asshole. Lotto Stud live with the 5, Uncle Elroy. All right. If you're new, welcome. Rats are part of the street life. Anyone in that life knows it's a possibility that you get ratted on. Exactly, bro. Like, Ducks, you were in that position. Do you spend every single day of your life thinking about the motherfucker? I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. But these people, like Joey's on YouTube. He's got the world by the balls right now. He's breaking in so much fucking money. I can't even imagine. He's opening the cheesesteak place, and he's still worried about talking about fucking rats every day. How about you talk about anything else? Because that shit's obnoxious. It gets played out. Guys get straight jealous of another guy, and then they start telling. I guess I know that's not always the case. Oh yeah, that happens too, of course. FBS, do you mind me asking if you were set up on a major buy? Understand? No, fuck no. I wasn't a major dealer. I got set up on bullshit. You know what I mean? The first time I was selling weed, the second time I was selling cocaine, but not large amounts by any stretch of the imagination. So no. But you know, I had to take a felony and I had to go to jail. Jail is shitty. You don't want to go to jail, even if it's for a day. You know what I mean? So even me, like I get no credit, even though, there's no proof that I ever told on any fucking buddy for that. It doesn't matter. I get no credit for that fact. And then they'll minimize it by saying, oh, you just had to do county time or blah, blah, blah. Would you do it? 90% of you so-called rat haters, if you could get out of it by telling on one or two motherfuckers, would you take a felony that is going to forever alter your life? End the jail time and probation and license suspension and every other horseshit thing that comes along with it? Probably not. But I did. So shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Now, when I say shut the fuck up, I'm talking to the people who say this shit about me. Not you, Dolly. Bob Cosmic, very true. Oh, really? Ronin 456? Of course. He's not a rat. And to call him that because his son ratted, I mean, that's ridiculous. I got knocked way back in the day into the verbal kint. I ratted on people that never existed, and I walked off into the sunset, never to get knocked again. I may walk crooked, but I damn sure cut straight. Okay, Bob. I don't think that's a possibility. I think you just made that up or whatever. Michael McDonald, the money for Joey outweighs the morals in those situations. 10 years ago, someone doing what he is doing now, he would say they are no good. Of course, absolutely. And I'm sure that's what the rest of the mob says. I've been calling Junior a rat from day one, even got blocked in here under my real name for saying it. Oh, really? Well, like I said, I stood up for Angel. It was my friend at the time, and I stood up for her and her family. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you can hold that against me, try to persecute me for it. But that's who I am. That's who I am. If you're my friend, I'm going to go above and beyond to defend you and your family. That's it. Listen, I'm not a stupid person. And whether you want to believe it or not, I'm from the streets. Okay. I know what a rat is or isn't. So there's no way in the world I could possibly be saying that honestly, that it was just a legal strategy and he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I got to say things I don't want to say on here. There's no way I could possibly be saying that honestly and mean it. If you sit down with any type of law enforcement and start giving up information, that's it. The thing is, though, who gives a fuck, really? I mean, only these anti-rat people care whether John Jr. is a rat or not. Who gives a fuck? The guy is a commendable dude. He does his thing. He takes care of his family. He's involved with every one of his kids as much as he can be. I'm sure. Look how he is with his son, the fighter. All that shit. He's a good dude by anybody's standards, unless you want to hold the fact that he did what he did against them. I don't even care. I told you I don't care about none of this rat shit. But you got to call something for what it is. You can't sugarcoat it or turn it into something else. You can't. Gene did the worst type of flipping. He flipped on his friends. Well, I think most of them do, right? I mean, who else are you going to tell on? FBS, get out of here with that logical talk to the Golden Girls, LOL. I know I got to learn my lesson. Merlino is a miserable man anyway who did time. Wait a minute. Merlino is a miserable man. Anyone who did time with him will tell you the same. Not that being in prison is all sunshine and smiles, but it's true. Oh, you could tell he's miserable. Always. He's always pissed off. No. And I don't even expect her to necessarily say that, but just don't turn people into saints. You know, didn't John Gotti tell Victoria when she was writing the book something just like that? Don't turn me into no saint in that book. Isn't that what he said? Not in those exact words, but something very similar. I'm damn near positive I could find it. He didn't even want to be portrayed that way. You know, he knew who he was. He said it. He said it in those jail tapes. All right, I got to shoot through here. Anybody else want to donate? I'd appreciate it. Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know. Michael Hensley, let's go, people. Time to donate. $9.99. Thank you very much, sir. My man, Michael. Appreciate you, bro. FBS, you know it comes along with the most loyal people, right, bro? I didn't. What do you mean exactly? Most loyal people are not well off. Oh, yeah. The ones with the most to say. Yeah. I agree. Yes, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. Yep. What was that interesting noise? Oh man, look at this. I swear to God, if it wasn't for a few people here, I would be living like Tony Pizza. No, that would never happen. Tom Sheehy, $50. Great show and early. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much, bro. Fucking Tom's the man. Yeah, definitely. Robert B. Life is funny. People out of nowhere just stop donating. I know why. If you think about it, it's obvious. The reason is what? I don't know. My dad used to tell us snitches get stitches. Really? My dad never said no shit like that, but FBS, my opinion, it's nothing you did. Why can contributing to you slow down? Yeah, probably not. It's just listen, the years are different. You know, the first year I was on here, well, I started in 2021. 2022, like January, February, and March were like this. You know what I mean? Horrible. But then in April, it picked up. The next year, I was prepared. I saved a bunch of money. I said January, February, and March are going to be fucking terrible until April. January, February, and March were great that year. This year, January, February, and March were horrible. Well, no. March was great. I'm sorry. April's horrible. And now May is starting off horribly. So I don't know. I don't think about him ever, but if I happen to bump into him, I'm not sure how I'd react. Luckily, he lives out of state. Oh, I got you, bro. I understand. But in your case, well, I know your situation. Well, I thank you, Mike, when I was younger and more gay. You would say something like that. Yeah, even it wasn't a lot. I don't even act like, oh, I did some hard time. I absolutely did not. I'm a smart motherfucker. I did most of my time on work release so I could still keep making money. You know what I mean? Money don't stop for me. Jail is not an excuse to stop making a living. But the bottom line is, most people will rat just to get out of a felony. Forget jail fucking time. The girl that I fucking, that set me up, I think it was her first offense. She got caught. She crashed her car. She was drunk as a motherfucker. And in the car, they found an 8-ball of crack. And I guess while she was drunk, she told him she was bringing it to somebody, which doesn't really matter. An 8-ball of crack, you get the same charge it's possession with intent to deliver is the same as delivering it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you've actually done it or not. And they flipped her like overnight. And she started setting people up. And she probably would have gotten, honestly, first offense, 6 months in the county, maybe a year, something like that, if she would have had a felony. You know what I'm saying? Most people would just take that, say, fuck it, charge it to the game. You got to do it. but not her. And I know people who got caught with way fucking less who flipped on people. You know, to the point where they might have done 90 days in the county and got that F on their record. Most people are not going to do it. If the drug task force sits down with them and says, listen, all you got to do is give me information on this one or that one, and you're good. We'll make this. They told me at my first preliminary hearing when I got busted in 2000, the drug task force agent came over to me and said, it was me and my mom there. He said, listen, you know, if you're willing to give us information on, and there was actually certain specific people they wanted information on that they knew I was close to. They said, this hearing is canceled. The charge goes away. You go home. That's it. And I laughed at him. You could ask my mom. I laughed in his face. I said, yeah, I'll see you in the courtroom, buddy. Then fuck out of here. Most people would have been like, for real? Who you need to know about? I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Most people, just to get out of the felony, forget about the jail time. Tell them they got to do 9 months on top of it. Yeah, okay. I know in this fantasy land, this fantasy people have about the street life, something like that. No. It's got to be something serious for somebody to rat. I know motherfuckers that'll tell on their own mother to get out of a 6-month county sentence. No question. Let me see. I'm definitely not meant for jail. LOL. I did about 48 hours with the looming charge of 25 to life. Once I booked out, I knew 100% I never wanted to go back for anything. Well, I won't ask you what your crime is because you were facing 25 to life. There's only a couple I could think of, but I'm glad that didn't happen to you, bro. Nobody is built for jail life though until they get there. It's like anything else. You adapt. You adapt. You know what I mean? Humans adapt. Look at people like Scott Peterson, the most unlikely motherfucker to ever end up in a jail, and he wound up in San fucking Quentin. And look at him. He's fine. Perfectly healthy. He's fine. How? Because he adapted. You know what I mean? And he's there long enough that eventually people stop fucking with him. So Godke. Wouldn't it be funny if it was with Pee Wee? Merlino is the most miserable human being. Leonetti said that in an interview. Dude is so miserable. Did he? What interview was that? Because I've seen them all. Merlino is definitely a hypocrite for sure. He lost his credibility when he went on Vlad, the biggest rat interview. Yeah, I don't understand that, man. No, I hear you, Michael. I know. Why are people rat when there's zero jail time involved is beyond my. Listen, man, I knew of a girl. I didn't really know her, but she was in my circle of friends. She died, actually. She wound up with I think she broke her leg and she got a blood clot, traveled to her heart or something, and she dies. Very, very sad. Had a beautiful little girl. She was only like 30 fucking years old. Gorgeous chick. She got busted with something. I don't even know if anybody ever found out what it was. It couldn't have been much though. She didn't sell coke. She just did coke every now and then, you know, and she would party and stuff, go out to bars. She might buy a little 50 or something from somebody. That's it. And she got busted. What's she going to get? Probably get 3 months probation. And she set up a dude I know. She set him up at a bar, buying an 8-ball from him. And that's just the one I know of. And there's no way, like I said, there's no way this girl was doing time. She couldn't have got caught with more than, honestly, 0.2, 0.3, maybe 0.5. You know what I'm saying? And she set people up to get out of it. And I was so anti-rat, I said something horrible when she died that I'm ashamed of to this day. But that's how much I hated rats. But that's, you know, people don't want the legal trouble. They don't want to pay for lawyers. They certainly don't want a felony on their record. Felony changes everything. You think these motherfuckers, these guys that are, Second Amendment everything, and they have arsenals in their homes, and everything is about their fucking guns, everything. They'll die without their guns because they're scared shitless of everything in society. Tell one of them they're facing a felony and see if they don't tell on every fucking buddy they can to get out of it just to keep that Second Amendment right. Forget about the fact that the felony will ruin you for the rest of you. Some apartment complexes will not fucking rent you an apartment. Some landlords in general, if you have a felony, it could be 20 fucking years old and it could be a non-violent drug offense. They don't give a fuck. It could fuck up everything. Applications for loans, of course, jobs, you fucking name it. And people will snitch to get out of that shit. All right, I got to go because SoFlo's coming on. What's up, FBS? What did I miss? Oh, a lot of stuff about Merlino, John Gotti Jr. In the beginning, we even talked about the Long Island serial killer. I'm glad you're here now, though, but I got to go, unfortunately. The users are the ones the cops press hardest just because a lot of them don't know. Exactly, yes. And a girl like that, she didn't know. No. There's more than one interview. Are you talking about with Phil Leonetti? No, there's mad interviews with Phil Leonetti. Nick Caramondi, I think I've only seen one. But there's several. There's the one, the boardwalk with the fucking wig. There's one where he's sitting in a shadow. Basically, he's not disguised, but you could barely see his face. Patrick Bet-David even interviewed him, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple more. Being a felon, are you allowed to travel outside the U.S.? That's another thing, Robert B. I can't go any fucking where. Shanna's got family in England and family in Canada, and I can't even go. I can't. 10 years from your last felony, at least for Canada, I think you can apply, but they still might not allow you. And that goes for anything, even a DUI, Canada. It's fucking insane. You name the country, I can't go there. I don't understand how some of these guys are able to travel to all these countries, like John A-Light and stuff. I don't understand how it's possible, but I think if you're doing it for a work thing, there's some special permission you can get. He's got two. He's got El Cid 305. That's EL space Cid CID 305. And then Team SoFlo 305. Team SoFlo is one word. And then Leroy Bellachow Brown. I was charged with murder. However, it was a clear case of self-defense, overzealous detective, poor investigation, and they tried to get an easy case. It took 5 years and $100,000 lawyer, but I beat it. Wow, man. Well, I'm glad you beat it, bro. Holy shit. FBS, I can't live in most places. My felony is 13 years old. Yeah, see? James Jarvie, tell me how. How did I super chat scammer and bullshitter? Tell me how. I want to know. Started the channel while I was on house arrest. Oh, did you really? Nice. Perfect time. Thank you, El Cid. No. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm ready to go anyway. I gotta start my day. So, and yes, I mean Leonetti, the Valuetainment one. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. He'd be talking about Merlino then. Yeah, I'm gonna because back in the day, the ones in the 90s, he wouldn't. I mean, a little bit maybe, but all right. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go do my thing. Everybody go over to El Cid. Is it on your El Cid channel, bro? Everybody go over there. There's 121 people. Do it. God damn it. And I want to thank everybody who donated. Seriously. It's not much, but it's not nothing either. So thank you, Michael Hensley. Thank you, Tom Sheehy. Thank you, Hollywood Wade. Why isn't it showing me all of them? Ridge, Hey Now, and Steve Blair, and Dave. Thank you guys very much. I love you all. And until next time, salute.